Hello everybody, this is Dragozilla1991 here, with a thoughts and opinions video, but this isn't on a figure, rather a TV show. Well, not just any TV series, but it's related to Prehistoric Planet. And it looks like the series is getting its first spin-off that's dedicated to the Pleistocene epoch, and it's going to be called Prehistoric Planet Ice Age. This video is unscripted because the announcement only caught my attention yesterday, and because I'm a massive enthusiast on Cenozoic animals, well, all forms of prehistoric life, you know what I mean, I just had to talk about this. So no trailer has been released yet, but we do have 5 screenshots of some of the stars that will feature in the series. Now other people have talked about them, but I would like to give my honest to Godzilla thoughts and opinions on them. So without further ado, let's now take a look. Now the first image is of a pair of Homophurium, aka Saber Toothed Cat. Now when I first saw this picture, I actually thought that it was meant to be the cave lion, Pamphus leo I believe it's called. But no, it's actually Homophurium, and that's a species of extinct feline that hardly gets represented, because the first time I ever heard of it was through the 2002 BBC 2 series, Wild New World. So it's fantastic that we're getting a scientific reconstruction of a predator that we don't get often. And I gotta say that I love this image, it's absolutely beautiful, as it shows the two animals resting and touching each other's faces, maybe giving love to one another. I don't know if they're meant to be male and female, or they're siblings, but I guess we'll find out, but it is a beautiful image. This next picture is my favourite, because it shows a mother coelodonta, better known as the woolly rhino, showing care to her calf. And I don't think we see this with woolly rhinos in media. No, most of the time when we do see them, they're usually the short-tempered brutes, often charging at Neanderthals, young mammoths, or even each other, so seeing a care and parenting side to them actually does make a nice change. And it is an adorable picture. It actually reminds me of the image of the pachyrhinosaurs, you know, mother and child from the new Walk with Dinosaurs series, that failed to win people over, unlike the original Walk with Dinosaurs and the first 2 seasons of Prehistoric Planet. And it just reminds me of that, but with woolly rhinos. And if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say that the woolly rhino in Prehistoric Planet is going to be the better version of the Pachyrhinosaurus from the new Walk with Dinosaurs. Picture number 3 is of course Gipadon, or Glyptotherium as some folks pronounce it. And I love the design of this model, it's absolutely beautiful. In fact, this may be my favourite depiction of the animal by far. And you know, not too long ago, I actually did a figure review on its cousin Didicurus, both the collector and safari models. Links in the description below if you wish to check the video out. Also, speaking of which, at one point in the video, I even mentioned about the theory on Didicurus and even Gipadon either having a flat nose or trunk-like nose. But according to Prehistoric Planet, it just had a regular flat nose. Also, I wonder if Didicurus will appear in the series, because that too also lived in the Pleistocene epoch, along with Gipadon, so who knows? Hopefully. It would be great to have an Ice Age series with both giant armadillos. This image shows a mother and juvenile Homophurium, which appears to be a species of ground sloth, and I think it's also known as the Shasta ground sloth, but I could be wrong. But anyways, this picture shows a female climbing a cliffside, something that's never been seen before. I would have thought they would have been too heavy for that. And a baby resting on her back. Because again, in media, I don't think we ever see juvenile ground sloths. You know, normally they're usually all grown up. So it's nice to see a baby resting on their back, just like you see on real sloths. Finally, of course, is Smilodon, better known as the Saber Toothed Cat. However, I'm not sure what species this represents. It could be either Fatalis or Populator, or perhaps Glacius, but we'll find out when the series comes out. Again, I do love its design, very realistic, although I think the sabers might be a bit too small compared to how they're normally depicted. It may be so that they can fit into the juts inside the mouth, if that's what they're called, because there are some who believe that the sabers might have actually been inside the mouth and completely covered up by lips when closed, rather than on shore. Or perhaps, just a theory, this could be a teenager, and the sabers have not yet fully grown, but again we'll find all that out pretty soon. The only downside is, not with the model of course, but what the articles are referring to it as, and that would be Saber-toothed Tiger, where really it wasn't a tiger at all, but in the show it will be referred to as a saber-toothed cat. And there we go, everybody. Those are my thoughts and opinions on the early images for Prehistoric Planet Ice Age. And it does look like it's going to be fantastic. It will be premiering on, I believe, the 26th of November, 2025. And it's going to be narrated by, hold on, just let me check, Tom Hiddleston. Somebody who I've never heard of, so I'll have to look him up. The legendary David Attenborough isn't returning because he's getting on in years, understandably. But he did a great job narrating the first 2 seasons of Prehistoric Planet. So it's kind of like what happened with Thomas the Tank Engine, because that series was originally narrated by Ringo Starr for the first 2 seasons, and in season 3 onwards was taken over by the late Michael Angelis. So similar things happening here, even though this will be a spin-off, not the 3rd season, but you know what I mean. As for other species, well, for the ones that have been confirmed, well, we will be getting the woolly mammoth, naturally, because if you're doing a series set in the Ice Age, you've got to include the woolly mammoth, because that's like the most iconic megafauna of them all. And I've also heard there's going to be other species of ground sloths and saber toothed cats, as well as dwarf elephants, so it sounds like Paleoloxodon's going to be in it, Falkeri, the small species, but hopefully we'll get the larger relatives, such as Antiquus and Pneumaticus. There's going to be 5 or 6 episodes, and 2 have already been named, those being the Big Freeze and the Big Melt. Now for what species I hope will appear in the series? Well, for Protocidians, I'm hoping that we'll get the Columbian Mammoth, American Mastodon, Paleoloxodon as I mentioned, and I think I did read somewhere that Homophurium was around until 11,000 years ago, so hopefully we'll get him. Doubt it, but never say never. I'm also hoping to see Megaloceros, the giant Irish elk, the cave bear, and Homophurium. There's also the giant short-faced bear and dire wolf. And I would also like to see some Australian megafauna, such as Diprotodon, Thylacoleo, and Megalania, etc. and so on. I'm not sure if humans like Cro-Magnon or Neanderthals are going to show up, but we'll just wait and see. The possibilities are endless! Anyway, what do you think? Are you excited for the new Prehistoric Planet Ice Age? And which other megafauna do you hope will appear in the series? Let's have a discussion in the comments. This is Dragonzilla 1991 signing out. Take care, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.